Protest had some great dynamic editing. This short film was really about disrupting her space, or the main character's space, protesting society, being a disruption. It showcased some amazing architecture and scenery, and it was mesmerizing to watch. It had all these great pops of color, and the just protesting of society. You can see it in her face and her movements. So overall, and just the psychedelicness of the editing sort of speeding up as the film goes on was a really nice touch. And yeah, overall, I love this film. And even though we don't see what we think of now as what a protest is, with like the picket line and the signs, it was a protest, just her existing in society and being herself and being disruptive. So I thought that was a cool take on that. I really like this film.
Protest is visually very intriguing, and I think the editing with the snapshots and the colors and even the costumes and the location all works really well with the music and meshes well nicely.
All right, I just finished watching Protest, which I ended up enjoying. I thought that the cinematography and the editing obviously stood out the most. It had a great sense of pacing, and it was a really great match with the music. I thought there was just a great blend, which made the piece sort of shift forms in terms of, excuse me, a visual experience, a musical experience. There's sort of a cinematic dynamic with the lead character, even though there wasn't really a narrative. And I thought I just ended up enjoying the use of lighting in particular. I thought it created a very futuristic aesthetic that the piece ended up using well. It ended up creating a sort of like, it felt like a very sleek advertisement or a trailer or a concept, but it just felt like it had a good depth for the short amount of time it played out. And I think most of it was because of the sharp stylistic approach. So I ended up enjoying the piece and thought it had a really great sense of self, which allowed it to stay contained but still be impactful. So I ended up thinking the piece was well done overall.
I really enjoyed this one. Everything about it, the style, the attitude, the locations, the way they frame certain things, the quick editing, with the effects on it, all that stuff just made it this really visually interesting, totally dynamic piece that just again felt like it had that attitude, like you were there, kind of just getting it. Really, really, what a strong creative vision in this one. I enjoyed it.
Protest was very interesting. Uh, Even though it was less than a minute, I definitely think it had a lot to say. Uh, just from the general theme of like kind of like what was happening, I think it was essentially a protest about how I feel like today's day and age, um, there's definitely an increase on surveillance, uh, where it feels like we're constantly being watched no matter what we do, where we go. Um, but it's always very subtle, uh, in a sense that going into the editing, which I thought was very great. I very much enjoyed the editing. In the editing, there's always like these brief flashes where it'll glitch, and in the glitch you see uh, the recording symbol, where basically the person we're following is being recorded. But then, as fast as we see it, it'll glitch again, and then it vanishes. Uh, so it's there enough for you to see it, but then it immediately glitches out. So you weren't actually supposed to see it, if that makes any sense. Um, I also really like the music, and I kind of like that the glitches kind of were on beat with the music as well. I always like when edits do that. But yeah, all in all, for as short as it was, it definitely had a lot to say.
Protest just came out of the gate with a punch. It was giving like 90s grunge punk rock. And I think the cinematography really reflected that. The wardrobe, the editing of like the flashes and the coloring, the music had this like amazing beat that just, it was active, it was alive, it was energetic. And it was like short but sweet. I kind of wish it was longer because it just really like packed a punch right away. And I thought this was really badass. Great job.
Protest. Well, I really enjoyed this video. Only just under a minute, but it had explosive color, nice coloration throughout, actually. And the young woman's wardrobe had those hot pink leggings with the bomber jacket, great styling, and dark glasses. And it's as if the filmmaker said, let's just go through the city neighborhood and take in the architecture. There was a great condo project that she walked underneath as the camera follows. And you hear French in the voiceover. I couldn't quite pick up anything. I looked at the license plates on the taxi cabs in an alleyway to try and see exactly where this was. There was a low-income area, it seemed, with lots of children running around, and she's walking through the streets as if she's being followed. Is she singing about her neighborhood? Is this her representation of where she lives? Or is it a band with just her as the character in their video? She reveals her eyes at the end of the dark glasses, and it's quite intriguing. I'd really love to know more about this band.